Paradigm shift from teacher centered to learner centered teaching. Who is the best teacher you have ever known? What personal qualities made this person a great teacher?
I have several teachers, but there is only one whom I can relate as the real teacher because of the impact she has made in my life. My grade 12 teacher. I like her for many reasons. First of all, she teaches the lessons in a very interesting way. Her best quality is her loving nature. She has taught us to never laugh at each other's mistakes. She explains things so well and includes everyone in discussions so no one feels incompetent or self-conscious. She treats every student equally. She's capable of combining all modes of teaching. She's compassionate and friendly.
The best teacher I've ever known is Mr. Lademar Pamitsan, my teacher when I was in my senior high school. This teacher had patience whatever grade level he's teaching. His patience tested while on working as an educator. He also shared his best practices. His willingness to share knowledge and experiences with others is one of the most important qualities of a good teacher.
My best ever teacher is Ma'am Vina Sabal Catris. She is my second year high school advisor and a friend as well. She is 5 flat, but when she talked, she was like a 7 footer. She taught not only from the book, but from the heart. She assessed students first before she started the lesson. She treated everyone as her child. She motivates and inspires. That's what makes her a great teacher.
One of the best teacher I know is our mom Jacqueline Cabang. She was my teacher when I was in senior high school. I love the way how she teaches and disciplines her students. She has also an open heart that can make you feel comfortable. She's funny and I love how she motivates and show her support to her students. And she's the best for me.
How do the qualities of the best teacher you knew appear in your instruction?
The qualities of the best teacher appear when the classroom participation is very active, engages in a discussion, able to share and express views and experiences, and does not hesitate to ask when there's something wrong. The students enjoy their session with this teacher and smiles after the class.
The qualities of a great teacher are patient, understanding, and confident. Patient in handling any kind of characteristic a student possess. Understanding in the situation of his or her students. Confident in the knowledge wants to impart. These are just a few qualities of a teacher have. A teacher has a very great impact in the future of his or her students. A good teacher is one who gives as much energy and creativity to this aspect of the job as the scholarship element of his or her work. In connection with that, I want to portray my teacher because I think I will be an effective teacher. I want also to inspire students and to make them a better individual. Draw a picture of yourself working as a teacher. What metaphor does the picture suggest for your teaching? Craftspeople, they use various teaching skills and are able to analyze teaching situations, apply scientific findings when applicable, and incorporate an artistic dimension into teaching. Bucket fillers. They pour information into empty containers with the assumption that a filled bucket is a good bucket. In other words, a head filled with information makes an educated person. Philosophy, essentialism, justification. When the student already showed a good performance in basic skills of learning, namely reading, writing, listening, and speaking. Example, a preschool teacher is spoon-feeding a 6-year-old child in order to master the alphabet. Perennialism, when the student mastered the history, philosophies, and literatures and enabled to make some arguments and questioning about a certain topic under this. It exercises their critical thinking. A high school English teacher explaining the theory of Romeo and Juliet, which has something to do with the famous author of all time, William Shakespeare. Progressivism, where the student is able to quest for something he or she is curious about. He or she is free to discover things on their own and share it to the class as well. Making a thesis or simple research. Humanism, where the student can be himself or herself inside the class, when he or she can collaborate efficiently with his or her group mates without having hesitations that he or she might feel embarrassed or being scolded by his or her teacher when he or she asks for clarification or queries about the lesson. Open forum for the class. Reconstructionism, where the student takes responsible and makes his or her stand about the issues in the society when he or she is exercising his or her right in a democratic country with the guide of education. Reaching out programs or community service of the class in a certain group of community. Constructivism, when the students applies the learnings from the class, it is not just about comprehending the lesson correctly, but bringing it to the mind down to the heart. A grade school teacher sharing a story and asking for insights about it and the moral of the story. Which teaching philosophy that is learner-centered, adherent would you want to employ as a future teacher, and why?
Since philosophy helped the education to be more beneficial to the learners, then it is a must for us to integrate philosophy of learning. So if I will become a teacher someday, I would integrate the philosophy of humanism. It is a must for us teachers to integrate humanism in the class, is that goodness will guarantee a good impact to the students. The students feel comfortable to share their thoughts, feelings, insight, beliefs, and fears, as well as the aspirations with each other. They will feel the sense of belongingness in the class as they engage themselves in different learning styles. That through humanism, they will grasp a reproductive learning that will benefit for the welfare of this humanity and the society. Without humanism, the values of being a true learner cannot be met. That through humanism, it will emphasize the real values and manner of a learner as they involve their own personality and attributes for that through humanism, it will emphasize the real values and manner of a learner as they involve their own personality and attributes for who they are in the class. If there is an integration of humanism in the class, then there is no doubt that students will fly high with flying colors. So far, that humanism will help you to realize the true essence of learner-centered approach, and you stand in front of them because someone believes in you, and you always taught your students and learners to always to believe in them.
I am going to use the philosophy of humanism. Why? Simply because I want them to improve their living as a citizen in the community. Learning is not always to be rushed or forced, because it is a process which enables them to grow as individuals. We take into account for them to realize their focus, their own destiny. As I teach them to be a better person, they will acquire knowledge that can make them develop their character, which leads to the development of academic. I, as a future educator, I want them to adapt positivity throughout their journey as a student and as a community. The acquiring of knowledge will always follow if we teach them with a manner that they are more comfortable with.
Closure. We are certain that if we learn about the teacher-centered and learner-centered teaching philosophies to be able to decipher what methods we want to employ as a future educator. We think there is still a need to learn more about how to employ these teaching philosophies in order to achieve effective teaching experience. We could apply what we learned in reports, soon or discussion to engage the students in the active learning environment. What 3 aspects and features of the lesson did you find helpful in your study of this lesson?
The three aspects and features of this lesson that I find helpful is first, the use of graphics and charts to organize our knowledge and the importance of deliverance of learning through different strategies presented by the different teaching philosophies. Second is the immersion of ourselves as something metaphorical representation, and finally, a reflection to connect ourselves to the lesson.